Okay, we're going to talk about homocysteine today. We're going to talk about the homocysteine marker that many of you are familiar with. This is our Power Health Keys to Success number 20.
I think it's 20.
I think it's number 20. My brain's getting better.
Yes, it is.
Because I follow my program. And so we're going to be talking about that. I'm Dr. Martin Rutherford. You folks know us, but for some reason Dr. Gates feels better if we tell you who we are every time.
You're a certified functional medicine practitioner and a
chiropractor. That's right.
Dr. Randall Gates, board certified chiropractic neurologist, also a chiropractor. We say that in the off chance that somebody's watching this who's not our patient. We just want to make sure it's discussed.
So we're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about maybe some updated testing. You know, we kind of hesitated on this, but we've been observing some things lately. Our goal is for you to stay better. That's our goal. And so we're going to talk about what.
Yesterday, I'm talking to a patient and they started eating gluten again.
Yeah.
It's just the same thing. It's like this person came to us, had every symptom. They lost weight going through the program. Thyroid was well controlled. Stress was well controlled. All these fatigue was well controlled, and they're back eating gluten. And I just literally want to slam my head against the wall. So sorry, that's my.
He's on fire test. You know, I'm just going to let him talk. We just did a whole presentation on homocysteine. Go.
No. Just gonna say a few more things and then I'll let you go.
Go ahead.
Whole point being, we want you to stay better. And I know if you're watching this, you've been watching all 20. Perfect. That's great. And going with that, we want you to do things that are going to be successful for you in the future. When we learn new data, we're going to pass it on to you. So we tested every one of you who's coming to this clinic for homocysteine. If you went through our neurological or metabolic program or one or both. And we used to think that it was sufficient to get homocysteine below 15 or 12 relative to inflammation in the body. But also today we talked a lot about brain, memory, and Alzheimer's. And you can go back and watch that if you want to. If you don't want to, that's fine. The generalized point is you need to make sure your homocysteine is below 10. That's the new value talked about in the literature. So if you're in maintenance and I'm seeing you regularly, then please call the front desk and make sure that we get a homocysteine value before your next office visit. If I'm not following up with you regularly and you're just watching these videos, great. We would like to get a homocysteine and some other labs on you sometime in the next year. We think that yearly follow-up is good just to check, to make sure things are good, to make sure you're on your program, to make sure you're following your diet, to make sure you have the right supplements going forward. Just as a baseline, once a year is a good place to go. And I'll let you.
Yeah, we tread on that lightly. I mean, I emphasize almost every week that our goal is to get you to a point where you can do this on your own. However, we do have a lot of patients who get, shall we say, separation anxiety. You may be one of them at the end of the prescribed number of treatments and say, I don't know if I can do this on my own. You know, I want to come in. And Dr. Gates does his best to manage that patient, again, in a fashion so that the patient's not always having to come in. Again, they'll be gaining the tools so that eventually they can be on their own. But there was a conversation last week or 2 weeks ago where you were indicating that the patients who do come in like once or twice a year because they want to, have been coming in once or twice a year and getting an updated blood panel seem to do better in the long run. And we're not sure if it's the anticipation of, hey, I'm going to be getting a blood panel in 6 months, so I better not get on gluten, or I better, do what I'm told. We don't know if it's just a different mindset. We don't know what it is. Okay, but the patients who come in every maybe either 6 months or once a year or something like that do seem to be doing better on doing this on their own. And it just makes sense. And as he said that, and I didn't even say this to you while we were talking, I get a blood panel once a year. I just got one the other day. They look awesome, but there was one thing on there. There was one thing on there. We went like, holy cow, I need to start taking this and this. And it made a difference. It made a difference in my energy levels. It was an active Epstein-Barr thing that in the past had been down, now it was up. And I was feeling a little tired, blah, blah, blah. Started taking the alpha-lipoic acid, the vitamin D in high doses, and boom. So that goes along with this homocysteine. And I've even had Dr. Krasian a long time ago said he thought that homocysteine should be down to 8. I don't know whether you're aware of that or not.
I am aware of that.
Okay, so I mean, but we went to a significant seminar this weekend. It covered a lot of stuff. kind of gave us a good feel that we kind of know where we're at and what we're doing and that type of stuff. But you'll still go to a seminar with 24 hours or 22 hours. You're going to pick something up. And this is one of the things that kind of jumped out of Dr. Gates, particularly as we were sitting there. He was sitting there listening. I was sitting there ribbing the promoter, the presenter. He deserved it. But yeah, this is I think that's a point. So it's kind of like 2 points this week. If you're having some off issues and you're saying, look, I'm doing everything you're telling me to do, maybe an updated blood panel once a year might be a good idea. For some of you, twice a year might be a good idea. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to result in any treatment. It might result in just discussing the blood panel saying, hey, you're doing good. Or it might be discussing a blood panel saying, hey, your Epstein-Barr has now become an active antigen and you got to do this or something along those lines. So just a thought based on that, and just a nugget to update you on what we learned this weekend. We're always trying to do the best job we can. And this is part of that. So.
And I'll go back to the case example I started with. I'm not making fun.
I actually heard you. Though you know our office is together. I was on the other side of the wall. I was actually laughing. I was like, God, we just did a hangout.
And I'm not making fun of that person. Look at my fat picture online. Type in my name, Dr. Randall Gates. There's a very bloated picture of me because I was not following my own instructions. So I get it. I get how hard it is. But you need to get that if you're doing well and you've fallen off the wagon, get back on the wagon. And we have specific broadcasts and these keys to success on how to do that. It's only because we care. We really care. We want you to do well into the future.
We want you to do well. We want you to be on your own. We feel that that's better for you.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's this week's key to success. If you have ideas for other ones, send them to us. We're always wanting to talk about what you want to hear.